hold that, hold it, bring the nose up, Alright, bring the power back to idle. And then hold it. Perfect.
We're getting swanky this episode as I get a taste of the high life in this beautiful Cirrus SR-20. If you're in the market for a Cirrus, you've come to the right place. This is our most detailed interview to date. Man, she looks good from any angle. Let's dive on in.
So my name is Austin Rivera. I'm the managing partner of Vasi Aviation, a Cirrus training partner, and this is a 2024 SR-20 G7. So SR-20 is the base model Cirrus. So for the G6, G7, and G7 Plus, which is their newest model, you're looking at a 215 horsepower Lycoming 4-cylinder, which is a little different. So a pretty large engine for only 4 cylinders. Garmin Perspective Plus, fully integrated avionics. So you'll see as we get flying, there's a completely touchscreen controller, full autopilot, and that's kind of the difference as we get into transition training with the Cirrus. So, Cirrus is a very technically advanced aircraft, so it becomes a little bit more pilot management and how we get from point A to point B, which is really the mission of a Cirrus. It's the lifestyle, it's going comfortably with your family, with a cargo load, from point A to point B and enjoying the fact of flying. So this is a G7. So Cirrus was the first aircraft manufacturer to introduce the whole airframe parachute system. So it's kind of very advanced. So we can, as we do a walk around, we can kind of go over that system. So if you have to, something catastrophic in the plane happens and you can't land it, you always have a way out with that big red handle, and then you'll parachute to the ground. The G7 Plus, they just introduced probably about 4 months ago now. Actually has the Garmin Auto Land feature. So that's a little bit more on the turbine and turboprop aircraft. So this is the first single engine piston aircraft to have Garmin Auto Land system, which is a nice, again, going back to that lifestyle, getting your family from point A to point B. It's always a nice out that if someone has to pass out and someone can't land the aircraft, you don't have to pull a parachute anymore. You can just hit the big red button and the plane will auto land. Now I think there's a lot of pilot stink in the group about Cirruses and what they are, and they have a parachute, so you're not a real pilot. I was part of that group back in the day, and now that I've really been flying them, every aircraft serves a mission. So if you're learning in a Cessna 150, the mission set is to learn how to fly, stall it, spin it. It's what it's built for. Cirrus is built for that lifestyle, getting from point A to point B fast, comfortably, and safely. So once you start realizing what the mission of the aircraft is, it's absolutely extraordinary at it.
All right, Austin, you ready to go fly?
Always. A couple of things. So because the avionics are so specialized and so modern, there's an initialization process we have to do, but we're going to get the engine started so we don't burn through battery.
Okay.
Checklists are all integrated in the screen, so as we get powered up, I'll show you how to use that. There is no avionics master. It's attached direct to the battery bus, and there's also no navigation lights switch. So once the batteries are on, your navigation lights come on. So if you want to hit bat 2 and bat 1, right on the banister switch there. Get everything starting up. And then the other biggest thing too is, like, unlike other planes, the seats, unfortunately for tall people, it kind of sucks. They don't go up and down. So the only way you can not hit your head is kind of fly in a nice reclined position.
Gotcha.
All right, cool. So everything's coming up. So this is that initialization screen that we talked about. We're going to kind of just bypass that for now. We'll come back to it. Checklists are still booting up. So the biggest thing with Cirrus is checklist discipline. You're moving away from that easy, simplistic system into a much more complex system. So Cirrus really harps on the checklist discipline. My background in the military, checklist discipline. We have a bunch of Part 135 guys, checklist discipline. So if you hit checklist, it's actually going to bring it up here. Again, actual checklist is in the book. This is a reference, but it's pretty damn good. So we can just scroll through that. There's a little wheel right up there on the banister, so you can feel that actually right there.
Okay.
So you go up and down, it goes up and down, or if you click it, it'll click. So if you start back up at pre-flight and click it, it's done. Passenger briefing, you've flown in the Cirrus before, so you know a lot of the safety features. Biggest thing is the big red handle. Deploys the parachute if we need it. Takes about 45 pounds of force. That's what a lot of people don't or underestimate when you hear about stories about pulling caps. So it's a big two-handed pull if you need to use that.
Yeah.
All right, so you can hit that for good. Seats and seat belts, that's all in. Park and brake, I think I still have it set from when I got here, and the batteries are on. Cool. Yep, and then we can go right, and then no external power.
Okay, so click it.
Yep. Okay. And then Now it'll pop up there if you hit that, and then go to the starting engines checklist. And we'll start the engines. So the biggest thing with the 4-cylinder like combing, it's kind of a known problem, is that they don't start very nicely. So we'll talk about that. So right there you'll see your alternators. Yep, alternators off. CAS messaging, so crew alerting system. So again, the plane has an built-in alerting system. That'll come up popping up, so we don't have any crew alerts right now. Strobes can go on just so people know what we're about to do, and we'll do the starting process. So so when you do crank it over, so we'll prime the engine very quickly, and then everything's push button. So you actually don't need keys to start this plane.
Wow.
Like, as long as the starter's engaged down there, you can leave the keys at home and the plane is perfectly fine. But you can disengage the starter. So when you bring that to both and then engage, not yet, but when you engage it, you're gonna bring the mixture, once it catches, bring the mixture into like half, and then it's gonna be kind of a game between slowly bringing the mixture in from half to rich and the throttle, and you'll see what I mean. You've flown, so
just
flown
watch start.
warbirds. Yeah, so power level 1/4 inch.
Okay, that's in.
Yep, core mixture cut off, fuel pump on. We're gonna look at our fuel flow, so now bring the mixture into rich. We're gonna watch our fuel flow, and we're gonna look for a stable fuel flow. So it's coming in. And 1, 2, 3, leave the fuel pump on, bring the mixture to cut off. And then we can bring the mags to both. And then press the starter engage, and then it's gonna be mixture to half, and then watch it catch.
Clear.
Yeah, so the SR-22 is a 6-cylinder Continental. It doesn't have that problem.
Ah, gotcha.
It's just, the newer engine. It's a newer engine for like combing the 4-cylinder IO 390. So they're still working out the kinks. But now that that's on, we got stable electrical power, we can work our way through the rest of this.
Do you have to click those little checks, or
It's just nice. It's,
Okay.
it's that checklist discipline to know that you're actually
doing it?
did that step. And when you hit it, it jumps to the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to like keep pulling down.
Oil
So oil
pressure.
pressures are all good. Fuel
Fuel
pump.
pump is off. Alternator is on.
So everything's coming up into the green, looking good. Flew this morning already, so I didn't have to sit here for 15 minutes waiting for oil temps to come in.
Right.
So that avionics initialization, so that's the step we kind of skipped, and you'll see why, because we were just burned through the tiny batteries in this plane. So if we go to utilities and then initialization, so you can click that, brings us back to this. So we have to go through this. So databases, if you click into that, it'll just show you all the databases, everything's up to date.
Okay.
Obviously you don't need it for VFR, but for IFR required. And then hit next. Then we have to just go through, so we know the aircraft limitations, no aerobatic maneuvers, it's a normal category, and maneuvering speed's 133 knots. So if you hit acknowledge, passenger briefing, so safety shoulder harnesses, we talked about that, emergency egress, obviously, get out, get away from the engine. There is a hammer underneath this in case you do need to bust out the window. Oxygen system, this plane isn't equipped, but the SR-22 and the Vision Jet are. The fire extinguisher is right here. Auto level button, so not so much a player in a beautiful day, but if you're in the weather and everyone's starting to get disoriented, it's a nice, big button, hit that, the plane's autopilot will come on, the plane will self-level itself.
Okay.
And then that capped parachute system. Then you can hit acknowledge. And traditional, I'm safer, so I'm feeling good, flew today already, you're feeling good.
Yep.
And you can acknowledge that, and then hit next. So new, I guess they were having a bunch of problems with ADS-B systems across the country, across airframes, so now they have a built-in test, so you just have to hit that ADS-B, and it'll just go through a built-in test.
Oh, wow.
And unfortunately, you can't go off of that, because if it does, it'll cancel it, and then we have to go back and do it.
Traffic. System test
Sweet.
passed.
So next. Just always hit fob sync, so there's sensors in each tank. We have 24 gallons, which is plenty for what we're doing today. Next. And then here's the part that I hate when I have females in the plane, because I have to ask the question I'm never supposed to ask them. If you go to aircraft loading,
Okay.
right, so there I am, the fat boy, 250, so I'm 250. Well, actually, so you'll put me in co-pilot now.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Enter. Down the bottom
There it is.
And then you can put yours in. And I always just throw 25 pounds in the back.
Okay.
It's pretty good. We're well within, and then obviously it calculates it for you.
Is that left, right, middle. So
Yep.
go down.
So no
baggage.
passengers, baggages in the back. Yep. And then fuel auto pulls in from that previous initialization.
Okay.
So cool. Next. So it knows where we are. If you want to add, you can add destination. Just do 20 November. We'll just and enter, and then we'll just. That's good. We're not really going anywhere. We're just going to go. Let's go out. We'll go out to the west here.
Okay.
Next. And then runway. So we're going to take off 33. And then if you go to runway on that page, so really cool. Again, refer to approved manual for actual told, but the plane calculates it for you.
Oh wow.
So
that's cool.
Today does all temperature, pressure calculations for you. So takeoff distance over 50-foot obstacle, 1740. So now if you put runway required, you put 1740. And that's it. And then we can hit initialize at the top.
Finish.
So now the aircraft's fully initialized, accept that.
Accept it.
And we're pretty much good to go. So you just pretty much did everything you need to go for flying. So, in the military, one thing we kind of use is like a wants check, if you will. So weather is absolutely beautiful. We check that. You can also do live weather in this airplane here. Flight plan, we're not doing one. NOTAMs, really there are none, but you could also check NOTAMs in the plane with live uplink. Told we did, and there's no SIDS or stars. It's a beautiful day.
Sweet.
Cool. So we can go back to the checklist and then knock out the rest of that.
Cool. So we did that. Caps pin remove and stow.
Yep. So I did that on our previous flight, but it's always a good thing just to make sure no one pulls that handle on the ground, because that would be a really not a good day. And before taxi. So it's a short taxi, so we'll just cruise through this right now.
Flaps. Where's my flaps at?
So flaps lever's right here.
Okay.
So there's 3 settings, up, 50, 100. So every normal landing is 100, and every takeoff will be a 50.
Got it. Comms are good.
Yep, so COM 1, COM 2, so this is your COM panel. So everything on this screen is pretty much controlling your MFD. You can control some stuff on your PFD as well. And then everything here is your COM nav. So we're on Victor 2 right now. So you can tell that by there. If we wanted to go to Victor 1, Victor's a military term, VHF 1. You can switch that, and then you can also monitor. So we'll be on COM 2, and 22.8 is our Unicom.
Okay. And then altimeter is set for, hold on, whoa, where is it?
So again, so traditional PFD stack. So you have your speed tape on your left, altimeter on your right, compass card, and then you won't see any, you won't see your bars or your ADI until you turn on to the runway, and then it will pop up.
Okay.
So 3002 was what I had coming in from Albany. But another way we can do it is that our field destination. So once you put your destination in, it automatically gives you your field destination 147. So you can kind of maybe 3003.
Boom. Transponder
is right there.
1200.
So 1200.
Heading. Initial heading.
Yep. So
it's just getting your bug up, or.
Yep. So here's your autopilot panel, but also controls your flight director. So you can change your heading. I'd put it on runway heading. So
okay, just press.
It will do auto sync, so it'll come to your current heading. But if you want your bars for heading on takeoff, I would just say bug the 330.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
So when you bug it, it will also come up in this window here of what it is.
Okay, so that's done.
And then altimeter, so to set the altitude is also the altitude button. You'll see it, the pre-select up there. Let's just say it will go up to 4,500.
Okay. Flight controls, So
flight controls will feel a little weird too, because there's a spring cartridge in there, so it always springs back to neutral. So that's a little different than your normal aircraft.
Lights as required. We don't need landing lights right now. We have our strobes in. Where's your nav lights at?
Those automatically come on with your batteries.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Cabin heat, I feel good.
Yeah, feels good. We also have this control panel here that we can use.
Sweet.
Well, it also has air conditioning on the ground. Super sweet for those hot days.
No, both. It's left or right.
Yep. So there's only obviously 2 tanks. They can only select 1 tank at a time. There it is. You can tell you're in manual mode, so manual right, so that we're feeding off the right tank, which is the more full tank right now. And you'll see in the before takeoff checklist, this plane actually has an auto tank switching feature. So when you bring that this little cover closed, we can do it now. You'll see that went from manual right to now it's just boxed right. So now that's the plane telling us that it's feeding off the right engine. It'll switch every 15 minutes.
Wow, that's really interesting. Okay. Autopilot, do we need to
so it's just it's always a good test, because you want to always make sure you can disconnect it if there's something crazy. So if you hit autopilot, you'll feel it. You can kind of feel that it took control, and then you can hit the autopilot disconnect. It'll give us the oral warning.
Okay. That's disconnect. Trim's set. Where's trim?
So trim's right on that the side stick wheel there. So you just kind of trim, electric trim up and down
Gotcha.
with the hat switch, and then just you want to make sure it's between that. There's like 2 white bars for takeoff. Just kind of in between there, there's a gap. You'll see it. So if you keep
going,
turning
right
those
there.
up, yeah, right there.
Okay. That's trim, parking brake, release, and brakes check. So I'm on the brakes.
Go a little forward and test that.
Brakes test.
Cool. And then quick taxi, so we can just go into the before takeoff checklist too.
Okay. So before takeoff, doors latched.
Yep.
Center console is set.
Yep, so just double checking all our switches, making sure everything is in the correct position.
Okay. Looks good to me.
Yeah.
Air conditioner.
Recirc, so there's an air conditioner on the plane. If you're using the air conditioner, you have to add some takeoff distance.
Okay.
So obviously no air conditioner today, and there's also a recirc fan to help on the ground with cooling.
Okay.
That just has to be off because it will highly increase your takeoff distance, and then also you don't want it to be recirculating in case you have a fire. You don't want those fumes recirculating. So.
Gotcha. Good to know. Fuel quantity, we got 24 gallons today. We're on the fuller tank, which is the right tank. Our fuel pump, you want that on.
Yeah,
okay.
So we're going to be...
Mixture is full rich. Flaps set 50% and
so just bring that down,
check.
Make sure they go down, and then we also have our flap indicator right on our engine screen there.
Now I'm going to put those back up, right?
Nope, so
No,
we'll just since it's a short taxi, this is...
Alright. Brakes, hold, and then we'll do our run up.
Yeah, we can get away from the fuel pump to do that.
Alright. Kingston traffic, Cirrus 35, Sierra Delta is taxiing at 33.
And then the nice thing is some other cool features of this plane is so it has safe taxi too. So if you're at a complex airport, you can pull up safe taxi and actually pull it in, like put your clearance in, and you'll get a route on your synthetic flight vision and on your map.
Oh wow, that's really nice.
Yeah, so like we went to JFK a couple weeks ago, and it was quite handy. Features of the Perspective Plus are absolutely insane.
Now, have you ever had that glitch on you? Has it ever been inaccurate?
The synthetic vision?
System, yeah.
No.
Wow.
So if you're flying in terrain, like if you go up to Lake George, for example, there's some pretty high terrain there when you're flying up the lake. It will show you the terrain and yellow and red. So yellow is like you're barely going to clear it. Red is obviously you're going to hit it for terrain warning.
So easy.
Yeah, and then
easy to taxi.
Yeah, and it's there's no nose wheel steering, so it's all differential braking.
Wow.
So again, talking about that transition training, so we're going to take that route today of obviously you're a commercial pilot. We're getting into the Cirrus. So the biggest thing is private pilots that just got their licenses in a Cessna 172 coming into this. So the biggest thing is IFR training and transition training. Transition training is the highly complex aircraft, 215 horsepower, so it's high performance, laminar flow wings. So some things that we could get away with in a small plane, like a Cessna, we can't get away with in this plane. So aircraft management, systems management, knowing what the systems are doing before you do it, and then also airspeed management and the pattern, and we'll talk about that and those numbers when we're ready to come in.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Okay, I'm on the brakes.
We'll come up to 2200 on the RPM. So if you turn...
Alternator.
Yep, so if you turn probe heat on, you'll see alternator 2 is going to increase, so just know that it's taking up the load. So that's cool, you can turn that off. Alternator 1 we can test with the convenience system, so if we turn the fan on full, you can see it pulls up the load.
Okay.
Voltage, essential bus is 27.9, so that's good. Probe heat.
We just did that.
Yeah.
Any light is required.
Turn that on once we're ready to go. And then,
okay.
Yep.
Left.
And no more than 175, so that looks good.
Looks good. Okay.
And pretty much just slowly bring it all the way to full idle. So one thing I'll say too, because a lot of Cirrus owners in the G7 are like, oh my god, I have a caution. That's normal.
Okay.
So the only thing on that bus really is the convenience stuff. So if you're not using the air conditioner or the fans, you're going to get a low amp. That's why it doesn't throw a CAS message.
Okay.
So that's just a normal thing for all you Cirrus guys out there and gals.
Interesting. Okay, so we're around 1,000. Trim is set for takeoff. We already did that.
Yep.
CAS messages.
We got nothing.
Okay, so
if you actually hold that wheel down for like a second or two and then let go, it will actually get rid of that checklist.
Oh, nice.
So
okay.
This is your home screen. You can have two things up. Obviously, I'll always fly in map, so you can go full. So now we have a full map. Zoom in and out is with this little wheel here. If you want to like search for stuff, you can press that in and a touchpad will come up and we can search. Okay. So we got that, and then I usually, if we're going somewhere, I'll have my flight plan just on this screen. So this is kind of how you fly.
Okay.
So the big one last thing is departure briefing. So big harp on that for Cirrus because the mission is going somewhere and doing something, and we just want to cage our mindset into what we're about to do, and in case something happens, especially on a short runway.
Okay.
So I'll just kind of give you what my takeoff briefing is in the Cirrus.
Okay.
So, all right, so we're going to do a normal takeoff. Actually, we'll do a short field takeoff. So we'll push up max power. So we'll do a short field takeoff, runway 33. We'll hold the brake, get power, push up, make sure all our engine instruments are good, and then release the brakes. 3,000-foot runway. Rotate speed's going to be 71 knots.
Okay.
You'll see that's already bugged in the plane.
Gotcha.
Let's rotate at 71. If anything happens before that speed, we'll just pull the power back to idle, slow down, and take care of any issues from there.
Okay.
After the rotate call at 71, we'll get airborne, climbing away. Flap retraction speed is 85 knots, so keep the flaps in until you get to that speed when you're kind of have a good angle away from the ground.
Okay.
Anything below 600 feet AGL, CAPS is going to do absolutely nothing for you. It's useless.
Okay, good to know.
So we're going to find a place to put it down.
Yep.
Most likely the highway that's right here, because this is your runway. Anything between 600 feet and 2,000 feet AGL, and AGL is actually shown right there. You can use CAPS. It will deploy. It just won't deploy fully. So that is an option. Short runway. If that highway looks good, we'll just put it down on that highway. But know that that is an option.
Okay.
Anything over 2,000 feet CAPS is fully available. We'll take care of the issue if we can. Come back for a safe landing. If we can't, 2,000 feet AGL all day long is the hard deck for pulling that chute.
Okay. Good to know.
Besides that, we'll just get climbing away. Pull up the map here. We'll stay obviously out of the terrain, but it's pretty open. There's nothing here, no airports, so we can kind of come down to the southwest and just do some maneuvers. We'll climb up to 4,500 feet.
All right, sounds good.
Do you have any questions?
I don't think so.
Yeah, and then the biggest
I'll let you know
thing.
if I do.
Yeah, and then as you know, being a commercial pilot, the biggest thing is positive transfer of aircraft control.
Yep.
So.
Cool.
Yeah. So if you want to make your call, we'll line up and get going.
Sounds good. Kingston traffic, Cirrus 35 Sierra Delta is departing runway 33 southwestbound, Kingston. All right.
So is my last little gut check. Fuel pump's on, mixture rich, flaps are 50. Landing light you can throw on just so people see us.
Little crosswind. All centered up here. Short field takeoff, stick back, power full.
You'll see with all that power, your nose will start coming up as your airspeed comes live, so just be careful to not pull the nose up before that 71 knots.
Okay.
Oh, nose down, nose down. All right, go. That good positive vector away. Climb right out of that VX. Yep.
Yeah, so it wasn't ready. I kind of pulled it up, it wasn't ready.
Yeah,
Thought it was ready, it wasn't.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is it's going to fly.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is now you put yourself in that situation where you might not have enough airspeed for that laminar flow wing and put yourself into into a stall situation.
They just bushing along, it's not. Yeah.
So cool. Yeah, like climbing out like 95 to 100 knots.
Okay.
It's a nice cold day, so we have plenty of performance. And once we're clear of obstacles, we'll just kind of go down to the southwest there. Nice.
600.
There's that 600 foot, so now CAPS is available if we need it.
Okay.
And as we get going, just pointing some stuff out as we get climbing away. On your MFD, big random blue circle that is constantly changing like Pac-Man, that's your glide ring, dynamic.
Okay.
So actually accounting for winds. So if you lost an engine right now, pitch to best glide speed, which is bugged there, about 100 knots. That's what you'll get to.
Gotcha. This hurts. Gotta get used to that.
Yeah.
That angle is kind of.
That's why I always find just like
kind of uncomfortable. Yeah.
Like pitting your elbow to the little arm rest here helps. Yeah, this whole side stick thing, that's like the biggest question I always get asked between my pilot friends. Is like, oh, how does that feel?
Yeah.
You get used to it pretty quick.
They don't really think about it.
Most of the time, like too, like as we're climbing away from stuff 1,500 feet, what we can do is set up the autopilot too, and it'll just climb, and then all you have to manage is power, speed, and rudder control.
Okay.
So if we do bug a heading, so just sync your heading, and then you can hit heading, and then flight level change, so FLC. So then we can bug a airspeed that we want to climb out with using the little pitch wheel. So let's say you're at we'll just do 100, and then hit AP. Now you can let go, and then all you have to do is, so the only thing about the SR-20, it doesn't have a yaw damper, so you still have to put right foot in. So you'll see that on your bug right there. So the biggest thing with automation too is, always confirm the airplane's doing what you just told it to do. So there's a little scoreboard up there, that's your autopilot panel. So autopilot's coupled AP with flight level change at 100 knots and heading. So now we're pretty much in cruise flight. So every checklist from that before takeoff checklist is a flow checklist, but you can go back in, make sure you did everything. So at this point, let's say we're just going to cruise, and fuel pump off.
Fuel pump is off.
And then, usually we're trimming or leaning for lean a peak or rich a peak, right? Depending on what you want to do, performance or economy. So the Cirrus, again, it's built for a lifestyle simplicity. It gives you a magenta or a purple cyan line. That's your target line for fuel flow. So it's cold, so we're actually doing pretty well. But you could pull that mixture to match that magenta line, and that should pull you back to lean of peak. But of course, you can always double check your cylinder or your exhaust temperatures. There it is. We're flying at 2,500 RPM, which is what the prop is governed to. For a 215 horsepower engine, I would say 11.5 gallons per hour is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're ready to do some maneuvering speed. We're actually at pretty good airspeed for maneuvering. So we'll just stay at 4,500 foot. We'll kind of give a turn back to the left here to get a little bit away from the terrain.
Okay.
And then we'll turn that fuel pump back on just because that's what we need to do for maneuvers. Cool. So yeah, just get used to the feeling. Start with a nice 30-degree turn, bug a heading, and say a 060, so I'll give you that. And go back the way we were going. You can see the plane's very docile.
Yeah.
When they built the plane, obviously they built it for safety and for the mission of going from point A to point B, so that's why a lot of people say is, oh, it failed the stall test, that's why they put a parachute on it. It's like, that's not necessarily true. When they were designing the plane, they designed it for efficiency.
Yeah.
So it looks slick because it is slick. It cruises at 150 knots true. So that's why, we'll just give it a little pull back there. So you can see you're in their 700 foot descent, so give a little positive pressure. Nice. So the plane is very docile on a stall. You just recover from it. Stall strips on the root so that you get that nice stability of stalling from the wing root out. So it's pretty hard to actually put this thing into a spin, according to Cirrus and the testing. But if you do get to that scenario, it's a very docile airplane. So why don't we, let's see, everything looks clear to the right. So I want you to give us a nice 60-degree steep turn back to the southwest.
Over traffic at our runway, stop here, approximately 3 miles.
Or 45, it would be 45. So just remember at that 45, the nose is going to start falling, so we got to pull that pretty good pressure in.
God, the sight picture is crazy in this thing.
So just remember at 60 degrees, 2 Gs is required to maintain level. So really, I mean, it's not that different than any other plane. Everyone thinks it's this crazy, scary plane.
Do that again.
Yeah. And then, like I said, everything, use that horizon. It looks like the nose is starting to fall down that horizon. So use that positive back pressure, bring it back to that halfway up the windscreen. within your standards.
Try one to the right, and then won't be.
Well, let's do it. You are clear to the right. So bring that right rudder, right rudder. And just watch that airspeed too, so you might have to bring your power in.
Okay.
Altitude.
Woo! It busted that.
Yeah, 200 foot. We can narrow that in for sure.
And it's a nice handling airplane. The wrist thing, I don't know. It's kind of. I've got to get used to that.
You do have to get used to it. It definitely comes a little more natural. And actually, honestly, the best thing for that practice is in the pattern, because you're really nailing some hard speeds in the pattern. So that's when you really start getting that, you know, that power pitch, like dance that you need. All right, so this is going to be your downwind entry.
Okay.
So flying downwind, 100 knots, 50 flap. And on the base leg is going to be 90 knots.
Okay.
And then 80 knots on final, configured to 100 flap. Like, and this is where we're talking about that airspeed management. This has a 38-foot wing on it. This thing's going to float with power and airspeed. So you, especially on a short runway like this, you need to be over the numbers at 75 knots, pulling power back to idle. And then shifting your aim point towards the end of the runway, letting that airspeed bleed off, and then hopefully flaring in the stall horn. One thing I will harp on, just because it is a trend across aviation currently, especially Cirrus owners, but across all aviation, and it's killing pilots, is go-arounds. So one thing that we don't train for is go-arounds. Go-arounds always seems like a last-ditch effort. You know, it's not something that's normal for a lot of pilots. So all you pilots out there, you know, just do go-arounds in the flare, in different parts. And if you're flying with other pilots, give them a surprise go-around. Because you'll be amazed at how many people, when you're sitting right seat and you're like, oh, go around. They're like, what? What do I do? And unfortunately, that's killing pilots currently. So that's a big harp that's going to be going through all Cirrus training centers. But I would argue that that's something that all pilots should be practicing. So if we look on the map, you can see there's that straight in. Right now we're going towards the field, but we're going to have to bit off to the right, obviously.
Right.
What I like to do when we're in the pattern is just activate that leg to waypoint. So what that does is just builds us a 4-mile straight line off Kingston's runway 33. And that's just, now you have something there. We're at 10 miles cross track. You want to be 1 mile in the pattern. It's just a nice to have. So we'll start, you know, we're still out here, we'll brief it, and then we'll kind of circle down, do a 360-degree circle down to our pattern altitude, which is going to be 1,200 foot for this airport. So just normal, it's a normal plane, so as if you were going into a normal airport. So 120 knots, you can hold that in the descent until we start getting into that 45.
So over the numbers, we want to be 80?
75.
75.
Yeah. So 90 or 190, 80, slowing to 75 over the numbers.
Okay.
So now that should be in a pretty good state to start heading towards the airport in that descent still.
Okay.
So we are currently 10 miles.
Kingston traffic, Cirrus 350 Delta is 10 miles to the west, inbound for a full stop, 33, Kingston.
Sweet. It's so nice flying with someone that knows what they're doing.
Getting used to it.
Love students, but sometimes, you know, a little overwhelming. Cool, so we're still in that descent. You can, if you really, you know, the plane will slow down if you want to, so if you pull idle, like it will descend pretty quickly.
But it's nice to get into something technically advanced like this, because I can feel it. It's a lot.
And at the end of the day, fly the plane.
Yeah.
That's what I tell all my students. If the GPS is the autopilot's not doing what you want to do it, fly the plane. Forget it. You don't need it. But once you start learning how to use this, that SA bubble, that situational awareness bubble, just expands massively. It's like going into an old plane and having ForeFlight.
Yeah.
It's a game changer.
Yeah.
Kingston traffic, Cirrus 350 Delta is 5 miles left base for 33, full stop, Kingston.
So for this runway, I'm using the aim point like 200 foot past the threshold.
Okay.
So you can kind of start to see the runway coming into sight. It's just on the other side of that highway. So I would say you can probably throw in flaps 50 here. Start slowing down to that 100 knots. You're pretty much entering on that base leg. So once it starts looking like a normal descent pad, you can start on that normal descent to the runway. Maybe just a little far out still. So dead on, 100 knots, looking good, 100 knots, 50 flap. Fuel pumps on, flaps are 50, mixtures are rich. So box it out a little bit more, so you're kind of at like an angling base right now, so if you come back to the right a little bit.
Sorry, that's habit. That's all I do is turning patterns all day.
Yeah. All right, cool. So now you can kind of see the numbers coming into sight there. So now you're at 90 knots. So 90 knots is a good airspeed here. All right, now you're going to be a little long, so it comes down. You start looking good to come down on that normal glide path. Whenever you feel like the runway's made, you can configure 100 flap. Sweet.
500.
All right, so I'd throw in 100. Start slowing right to 80 knots. And you can see we're getting a little high. Intercept that extended center line. And then don't go lower than that, like 75. So you're right there. If you want to hold 75 in, that's fine. It's a pretty good aim point. And then once you get over this little tree line, you can really kind of aim right at the threshold. Alright, so watch your power too, because once you bring that nose down, it's going to accelerate pretty quick. A little left, so that's fine. There's 75, bring the power in just a little bit. Right, hold that, hold it, bring the nose up, Alright, bring the power back to idle. And then hold it. Perfect. And then you can bring those, that's...
Sorry.
You have to remember, this plane will go flying again.
Yep.
Beautiful, you're natural for the Cirrus world.
It does not come naturally right now. It just feels very foreign.
That was a very, very good landing.
Thank you.
So we can make this turn off and...
Well, thank you so much. That was fun.
Yeah, no problem.
Golly. Had a good time.
Flying is always fun.
All right, well, Austin, thank you so much for letting me fly that today. It was kind of overwhelming, you know, being like stick and rudder all the time, and you're very much like, I'm still like, blah, blah, blah. It's a lot, but it's really interesting. It was really fun, and I really enjoyed it.
You really get the feeling of the plane and the avionics and the
definitely.
usefulness of it going somewhere.
Well, so. You can definitely see how people can get overwhelmed too, especially that's why transition training exists, right? I mean, just from type to type. That was really interesting, and I had a great time. So where can people go to? Basically, like what I did today, you guys do for people that are wanting to fly, learning to fly, or wanting to buy a Cirrus and get into
So the easiest thing is to find your local Cirrus training center. So if you just go to Cirrus's website, there's a map you can pull up, put your zip code in, it will find the closest Cirrus training center. So that's what we are. We're based in Albany International Airport in Albany, New York.
Awesome.
Vasi.co, so VASI.co is our website, and we're always happy. Book that discovery flight, get that hour lesson in, and then go from there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, sir. I do appreciate it. Have a safe flight back.
Thank you.
Thanks.